Hello, everyone. I tried to go live the other day, but because I'm a technophobe, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So I imagine this will go live or it won't. I have no idea. Just wanted to touch base with you live, see where we're at in life, and also share what's happening a little bit. If you have seen any of the latest 15 copings, you've seen that quite often me and Lee will discuss a topic together, and we will talk about, things that mean a lot to us, like the self-esteem show. I really bared my soul with that, not for any other reason than just to show you that this show is completely made out of truth, and we don't want anything other than the truth being given to you guys. We seem to have whittled down our the people who watch us, you guys. We seem to have got to a stage in life where we found some constant ground. When we have guests, we have more watchers, more listeners, more viewers. There's the word. But also, we have to remember that we don't do this for views. We don't do this for money. We don't do this for sponsorship. We don't do this for anything other than us, me and Lee, and George, the guy who does all the clever tech stuff, who probably should be here now to stop me doing this rubbish. We all do it because we love doing this. And also, it's one of those things that has to be done from a place of truth without an objective. It's one of those things that has to be done where if it doesn't come from honesty, it doesn't mean anything. So therefore, everything we do is honest. Everything we do is, real to us at the time. Now, coming up now, today we have just released the going into a cult show. I've wanted to make a cult one for a long time. Basically, Hannah is a friend of mine. I've known her for years and years, and basically she was indoctrinated, even though she says she wasn't. I have a feeling that what's actually happened is that she went on this coach trip, and she met the guy she ultimately fell in love with, who was part of a Hare Krishna sect. Now look at it any way you like, but the way this works is, if you have a situation where somebody has, somebody has an agenda, somebody has something that they're looking for, and they happen to meet you on a bus and you happen to talk about it, then maybe, just maybe, they were put there on purpose. I don't know. Also, it has to be said that anyone can be taken in by these people. Anyone can be taken in by a scam. Anyone can be taken in by anyone who is in a position of loneliness, in a position of youth, somebody who wants answers to everything. And Hannah, bless her, was 15 years old. She is now very much sorted. She has a great husband, John, and a little boy, and obviously life is difficult for everyone, but now she's in a better place. So if you can interact with that show, and can you tell us what you feel. Tell us if you think you'd never be sucked in by those things. Tell us if you think that you're completely and utterly open to being indoctrinated. Because don't forget, indoctrination isn't just cults. Everyday religion is indoctrination in a way. Everyday religion, i.e. Church of England, right? They will indoctrinate you with the way they think. I personally think that a lot of religion is social control, but spirituality, believing that there is something out there that can help you or support you. A lot of my friends, Laura Drain, psychotherapist, will tell you that, that's what helps them. I know my mother, before she died, she had a religion, she had a faith. She had a belief in the fact that there was a God and there was somebody who was there for you. And you know what? Until someone proves everyone wrong, then, why not? As long as it's coming from a position where you're still in control and you still make your own decisions, you don't pay half your wages to some greasy fellow called Jethro who looks a bit like Jeebus, then you're probably on the right track. On the right track. How do you know if you're on the right track? I have no idea. I tell you what, we have got some great shows coming up as well. There are lots of people that I admire in this world. Okay, but obviously my admiration for veterans. But there's a guy who's going to come. We're actually going to do our first ever what's it like, online interview. So there is a guy on Instagram called the One Armed Wonder. Okay, now basically he is a veteran. He's a paracyclist from. He's a Black Sheep Cycling ambassador apparently as well. But look, the most important thing about this guy is not only to serve his country, but he also lost a limb. I don't know how he did, we will find out on the show. But what he does now is he cycles, he goes out. His one-armedness is not a barrier to him living his life. And inspiration is taken from people like this because I have all four of my limbs. I have somewhat of a brain. I'm quite messed up, bad hip, bad knee, and I've just been told I've got a hernia, whatever the hell that is. So look, however bad things get, there are always people who are worse off than you. That statement alone doesn't help you. But what does help you is the fact that these guys have adversity that are above and beyond most things that you guys see. Should you be lucky enough to have no troubles at all, then the world is a wonderful place for you. All I will say is that this guy has put himself in a position where he's not feeling sorry for himself. He is out there riding bikes, doing and living his life his way. That in itself is fantastic. So we are doing that. On the 3rd of August as well, we have got a holistic healer, Josie Chorley, coming in. She's going to talk to us about holistic healing, which is anything that is... okay, so... you don't look at separate health points. You don't look at things. So mental health, for instance, isn't mental health. It's just health. All of your health is put together. And, using natural remedies, potions. I don't want to say potions because that makes it sound witchy. But this stuff helps. Natural remedies, things that can overall heal your body. I think it's important that we look at all sides of that. Also, look, if you're in a position where you're not feeling well and the doctor's just prescribing you pill after pill after pill after pill, what's the harm in trying holistic? Also, she also knows an awful lot about spirituality, which I mentioned briefly earlier. And with her mention of spirituality, she can then come and talk to us about the realities of that, about it's not about religion, it's not about God necessarily, but it is about a higher power guiding you through the different struggles you may have. Look, I think it's nice. I like doing these live things because I get to just vomit out my brain onto the page. If there's a show that you want 50 in Coping to do, please do let us know, okay? 50incoping@gmail.com is the email address. You can leave a comment under any of the shows. Tell us which show you like, which show you don't. Be honest, be vocal, because remember, this podcast comes from a place of truth. And if it doesn't ring true with you, then call us out on it. Because the more interaction we have, the more guidance we can have. I'm not going to change the way I talk or think because you say I will. I'm going to change the way I look at things to establish boundaries. There's a lot of talk about boundaries and mental health and all of that. I am in the mind that if you do have mental health problems, these are exacerbated by people who facilitate bad behaviour, who facilitate behaviour that is not good for yourself and others around you. If you don't know when you have to stop, be mentally impaired or not, mentally unhealthy, then you do not know the boundaries that should be in place. If nobody tells you, nobody instructs you, nobody lets you know how life works, how are you going to know how life works? Because I haven't got a clue how life works, I just muddle through. So look, all things are valid. All opinions are valid, unless it's bigotry and hate, and that, quite frankly, is old hat. Last year. Yeah, too much. In this society where we should be building ourselves into communities that help each other, what we're actually doing is doing everyone else down. We don't build people up, we smash them down. I don't think that's healthy. I mean, of course it's not healthy, but I also think that if you're in a position where you can say to somebody, God, you know what, you did a really good job there, do you do it? Or do you just keep that little gem to yourself? Because if you big someone else up, you might look bad. Do you know what? I've looked bad quite a lot in my life, and it doesn't really do you any harm, does it? So if you can be positive, be positive. If you can say good morning to somebody who looks lonely, do so. The other thing about loneliness and building community is I have started a charity. It is called Coffee and Coping. I'm not going to start asking you for money. All I would suggest that you do is, if you want to support us in any way, or help us grow, then can you get to the point where you go to Instagram, yeah, and then go to the new account. Okay, the account for the charity, I'm looking it up because it's that new, is, oh god, what am I doing? Okay, so it is cc.hearts, which stands for Coffee and Coping .hearts. If you can see your way clear to following us on there, and then maybe, just maybe, we can find a way. Oh, I'm all blurry, I apologise. I have no idea why that's happening. Oh, you see webcams. Oh, there you go, look, I'm in crystal clear fashion. Yeah, so look, go to Instagram, cc.hearts is the charity. Now, it's got veterans written all over it, but that's because I work in partnership with Working with the Wounded. But as well as veterans, anyone who is lonely, anyone who just needs a chat, who hasn't talked to anyone for a couple of days, any older members of the community who are looking just to have some kind of somebody to say something to because they haven't talked to anyone for a while, or like some of the people we're already getting because it's already started, they're busy. They used to be part of society, and now they're not. They don't have anyone to talk to. So we have a couple who come in, one on a Wednesday, one on a Friday already, and they come and talk to us about anything they want to. It's not necessarily about mental health. It's not necessarily about healing, but what it is, all people need, a pack mentality sometimes, a community. And be careful with the word community, okay? Because if there's a community of sportsmen, there's a community of the military, community of doctors, they exclude people rather than include them. So community should be, and in our case is, veterans, lonely people, unlonely people, anyone who fancies a cuppa. And where are we? We are in the Ashley Room, which is on the left-hand side of the parish hall in Stansted Abbas. Okay, from midday to 1:30 every Wednesday and every Friday. I am also talking to the parish council, who, by the way, have been amazing, and asking them if I can do an evening one, 5 to 7 on a Wednesday as well, so people can drop in when they're on the way home. So that way they can have a chat, have a coffee before they go home, have their tea, and maybe, just maybe, that'll set them up. Bit of positivity, non-judgmental. I'm not there to argue with anyone. I'm there to listen and to put in if you want me to, or just listen if you don't. So all of this is happening, right? The new shows as well. We are also in talks with a gentleman called Nick. Nick is a veteran. He also, sadly, finds it difficult to walk, finds it difficult to, without the aid of his chair, do normal things. But Nick Wilson, also known as the Disabled Adventurer, will is just about to do it again, climbed Snowdon, right, in a specially adapted chair. Now, he didn't quite make it to the top because the steering on the chair broke, but he is going back to make sure that he actually does it. I mean, if you want to see someone with minerals, I suggest you look him up. Nick Wilson's his name, the Disabled Adventurer. Look him up on social media. We are in talks to have him in, which I am so excited about. All the people that come on this podcast, and we're in season 3, yeah? So we've done a few. All of them I try and stay in touch with. I try and keep up with where they're at. Luke, the guy who was transitioning out of the military into Civvy Street. Let me tell you this. Luke was worried that he wasn't going to get what he wanted, but he knew what he wanted. He wanted to be a project manager. So he, after a little while, it was a struggle at first because life is not easy. He is now a project manager on the railways, right? So, I mean, good luck to him. Well done as well for hanging in there. Well done for making sure that you got where you were going. You didn't let anyone dissuade you. He was very, he was very calm about it, but obviously he was worried. When you leave the military, you leave any organisation, you have no wages. Yeah, the money stops. Then what do you do? Right, so basically he is now a project manager for Network Rail in Milton Keynes. Business Solutions Manager. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but after watching him on there and seeing him succeed, that's wonderful. And it makes me feel good that, we could talk to him and he did succeed in his journey. Dave Beer from Walking in the Wounded, he and I talk daily. Chris Sibley, basically from the Ollie Foundation, One Life Lost is Enough, is an amazing charity, and that man has helped me more than anybody else in the charity world. And if you want to help any charity as you stand now, right, the Ollie Foundation, One Life Lost is Enough, is a place to go. Right, I have been speaking for far too long. It's nice to catch up. If you've got anything to say, put it in the comments underneath, yeah? If you think that our lives aren't as rosy as you might imagine, they're not. We're just normal people. And what we do as normal people is tell you the truth about our lives and how we feel. I think we should start a movement that bigs people up instead of knocking them down. Tell me I'm wrong. Nice to see you. Take care.